don't for me more about Lordson TV.
Keep watching.
Mofanto Lawson TV.
Keep watching. Don't change it. Keep watching. Don't change it. Keep watching. Don't change it.
And one Lawson TV.
Prophet Bernard L. Bernard Nelson, the major prophet, one of the sharp prophets of Ghana, and Americana once me. Ocean comes John Dramani Mahama Baba, Ampa Baba. L. Bernard, ayo Odifua, nen comes entofom. Debbie, Oka, Ebem. Now, another. Or the non-commission called international. Or they free the borders of Ghana. Or they are international. Because international, send a basamichere. Or Bora Bokina. Ashen come after the gun wearing president, the interim president, Ibrahim Traore. And then walk after Ibrahim Traore. Answer na men call. The Okafa Ibrahim Traore hono enyuma kubi ena asomasne the skin code cosmetics in kumpa fee in kwa osra na body ne teyiran yiram sa yiram wonnam isumu kura na eglita na bright na shine na oda yiram in kumpa eno ane the skin code cosmetics ebiem the good master aponchena maya ho dry ne package ne kama Ghana wo amanoni o baby a bia ye be deliver enya aponche na monko and nam bia say bushmeat say insumanam adwene ni nyina nam bia ya ho dry bia no the good master edi ho dwuma umbe package ne kama na wo react to say yes or nam ai afi ma mentin sin se mu bi mu de make nyina akɔwie ne say Prophet L. Bernard was shankom after the Burkina Bay president, the interim president Ibrahim Traore and Sembe na woka yenkoi yenkuti Prophet L. Bernard Nelson.
12 February 2025. Visions and prophecies of the Spirit. He came to power through the gun, and many began to cheer him up. He wanted to consolidate his position. Wherever he goes, he has a gun tagged on his side. So will it happen. As he sits on his seat, another will take his place. Visions and prophecies of the Spirit. My name is Bernard L. Bernard.
Out of us, our president here, L. Bernard, kind of wants me. And maybe say, Ninyu Makakra. Yes, September 2022. And Oyeku. Itu Sandago. Ifra Dieso. President Sandago. Itu Adeso. Two Nifra Dieso no better. Oyesenka 2 years. 2024. Or the certain year man away jai a memona momako at to abide democratically. But after 2 years, and I say, and year man to toss the open. It was saying etiso. A person over to near Manafi, where Ja or Mani ye said ye be in an answer. So no better was what cool, Sabi said you canoe. And now Prophet Bernard Ashen is uncle me. Now come say, said the papa ni security at here. Very tight. With the uncle tea in a home sem kakra. In for the security no and trust on a said in the security no is it here. Both say physically, Edding. Sen kade prophet eken ebitimi abam but the unyame ekade no unyame aka aja say this papa yi wan hwie na wan fa telephone am fere prophet Bernard na wan chere no kwan also fa so de ne e betia tintontan ai what one ananam wan se do enko Ibrahim Traore ne nsem kakra and the security enko bra.
Ibrahim Traore, the youngest president in Africa and the world, has a fascinating story of courage and leadership. Born in 1988 in Burkina Faso, he grew up in the western part of the country in Bondakwi. From a young age, he was known for his intelligence, strong sense of justice, and a deep desire to serve his people. Traore joined the military and quickly rose through the ranks, earning respect for his discipline and bravery. His journey to leadership began amidst political and security challenges in Burkina Faso. The country was struggling with a wave of terrorism, corruption, and instability, leaving many citizens disillusioned with the government. In September 2022, at the age of just 34, Traoré led a military coup that ousted then-President Paul-Henri Damiba. This bold move made him the youngest head of state in the world. He justified his actions by pointing to the government's failure to address the worsening security crisis and the people's growing dissatisfaction. As interim president, Traoré focused on restoring stability, improving security, and addressing the needs of ordinary Burkinabe citizens. His leadership style emphasized humility and accessibility. He often interacted directly with citizens and avoided the pomp associated with high office. Though his tenure faced criticism from some quarters, many praised his boldness, vision, and commitment to his country. Ibrahim Traoré's rise to power is a testament to the determination of young leaders to reshape the future of their nations, even in the face of immense challenges.
Burkina Faso's 35-year-old president Ibrahim Traoré is boldly defying the long-standing notion among African leaders that one must be wealthy to command respect from their people and the global community. It's extremely uncommon to witness an African president leading a modest lifestyle, particularly when their country is grappling with economic challenges. Many African leaders own luxurious cars, reside in opulent mansions, wear expensive custom-made suits, and even travel in lavish private jets, seemingly unconcerned about the plight of their people. In stark contrast to these extravagant lifestyles, Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, chooses not to prioritize luxury. Instead, his focus lies in placing the needs of his people first, even going so far as to reduce his own salary. Ibrahim Traoré draws frequent comparisons to Thomas Sankara, primarily due to his modest lifestyle and unyielding dedication to his people. Much like Sankara, Traoré prefers to drive a simple car and eschews the opulence of expensive suits in favor of military attire. This was evident during the Russia-Africa summit, where Traoré stood out among his African counterparts by donning military combat clothing, complete with a distinctive red beret and tactical gloves. Moreover, Traoré's refusal to accept a president's salary and his steadfast commitment to maintaining a salary as a military captain serve as a poignant testament to his unwavering commitment to serving his country. This and many more will be covered in today's video. Prepare to be amazed by the impact of this young visionary leader on the transformation of Burkina Faso. Before we proceed, we kindly ask that you consider showing your support by liking and subscribing to our channel. Ibrahim Traoré made history in September 2022 by becoming the world's youngest head of state. He assumed power after he and a group of junior military officers staged a coup to oust Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, who had taken office in a coup earlier in the year. Traoré justified their actions by stating in a televised address on October 1, 2022, that Damiba had failed to effectively address the ongoing issue of insurgency. Damiba was displaced by Traoré, who, despite being 7 years his junior and occupying a lower position in the military hierarchy, held the rank of capitaine, denoting a captain in the French military structure. Burkina Faso, as a former French colony, adopted the military command hierarchy from France, where ranks above capitaine include commandant, lieutenant colonel, and colonel. Although Traoré's rapid ascent may have been perceived as meteoric by many, within military circles, it was anticipated. Following service in junior roles within Burkina Faso's military, Traoré's career trajectory notably advanced in 2014 with his deployment to Mali as part of the United Nations peacekeeping mission, MINUSMA. Testimonies from fellow soldiers within Burkina Faso's military have previously underscored Traoré's valor during his deployment to Mali, particularly in overcoming a daunting, complex attack by militant extremists in the northern Timbuktu region at the age of 26. In addition to his service in Mali, Traoré played a prominent role in combating insurgency in Burkina Faso between 2019 and 2022, culminating in his promotion to the rank of captain in 2020. Following the successful overthrow of Damiba's administration in September 2022, Traoré, aged 34 at the time, acknowledged the potential scrutiny surrounding his relatively young age in relation to his eligibility for the presidency. Addressing government officials in October 2022, he stated, "I understand that my age sets me apart from most of you present. The events that transpired were not of our choosing, but rather a necessity." Subsequently, Traore's international prominence waned until July 2023, when he participated in the Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg, alongside 16 other African heads of state, convened by President Vladimir Putin. As I told you earlier, while his counterparts donned their customary opulent suits, Traore made a distinct impression by appearing in military combat attire, complete with a red beret and tactical gloves. The dress code earned him the attention, but his speech during the Russia-Africa Summit, held between July 27th and 28th, earned him plaudits. The issue lies in witnessing African heads of state who failed to provide for their people in need, echoing the rhetoric of the imperialists who label us as militia. Consequently, they inadvertently portray us as individuals who do not uphold human rights, stated Traore. We, as leaders of African nations, must refrain from behaving like puppets manipulated by external forces. We must prioritize our sovereignty and act in the best interest of our people, Traore added. Traore strongly criticized African presidents who appear content to accept handouts. He specifically addressed President Vladimir Putin's announcement on July 27, in which he pledged to send free grain to Africa. Traore expressed gratitude for the gesture, but used it as an opportunity to convey a message to African heads of state. He emphasized the need for African leaders to prioritize achieving self-sufficiency in food production and supply for their people. Traore urged them to learn from the successes of other nations in achieving this goal. He stressed that at the next forum, African leaders should not attend without having taken concrete steps to ensure the food security and self-sufficiency of their nations. Traore's statements drew comparisons to those articulated in the early 1980s by the esteemed Thomas Sankara, who, like Traore, assumed the presidency of Burkina Faso through a coup. Leaving aside Ibrahim Traore's early life, let us now shift our focus to Traore's achievements. It is an indisputable reality that Ibrahim Traore is amassing a substantial degree of trust and backing within Burkina Faso and across the African continent in comparison to other African leaders. Just a few days prior, a multitude of citizens engaged in demonstrations, advocating for an extension of Ibrahim Traore's transitional tenure, which was originally slated to conclude in July. Subsequently, a recent charter has been ratified, permitting Burkina Faso's military leader to prolong their authority for an additional 5 years. Subsequent to the endorsement of the new charter subsequent to national deliberations on Saturday, May 25th. The deliberations, convened in the capital city of Ouagadougou, encompassed representatives from civil society, security forces, and transitional legislators, albeit the limited involvement of political parties in the process. Even after the signing of the new charter, many citizens were left unsettled. While decision-makers debated inside the conference hall about extending the transition, a group of impassioned youth gathered outside, fervently advocating for Captain Traore to lead Burkina Faso for the next 10 years. This fervent display of confidence in Traore's leadership underscores the deep-seated divisions and complexities in the public sentiment regarding the nation's future trajectory. Ibrahim Traore has been recognized for his practical approach to political ideology. He has addressed a significant economic challenge in Burkina Faso by pointing out the absence of a domestic gold refinery. Despite the country's status as a major global gold supplier, miners were forced to export raw ore to European countries for refining. In response to this issue, Traore has taken proactive steps to initiate the construction of a gold refinery within Burkina Faso. This strategic decision is anticipated to yield numerous job opportunities and contribute to the overall economic prosperity of the country. President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has spearheaded a series of impactful economic measures, including the implementation of substantial tax reductions and collaborative efforts with the private sector to facilitate access to capital for young entrepreneurs. Notably, Traore has introduced the innovative concept of popular shareholding, aimed at privatizing government assets and ventures to enable public investment in the nation's development. This initiative saw 20% of the government-owned telecommunications company offered for public purchase, resulting in a highly successful venture that generated $60 million in revenue for critical projects. President Traoré has also demonstrated his commitment to fiscal responsibility by reducing the salaries of all government ministers and officials by 20%. Furthermore, he has declined a presidential salary, choosing instead to maintain his earnings at the level of a military captain, thus exemplifying his selfless dedication to serving his country. Ibrahim astounded journalists by asserting his commitment to defending his people's right to protest, even in the face of criticism of his own actions, emphasizing his role as a servant of the people. His unwavering declarations regarding the trust placed in him and his colleagues to protect the nation's future are a welcome departure from the prevailing attitudes among leaders in many African countries, where leaders often consider themselves as sovereigns and their citizens as subjects. In the current state of Burkina Faso's leadership, Captain Ibrahim Traoré serves as the president, shouldering significant responsibilities during a critical period for the nation. Despite his prominent position, he has maintained a remarkable level of discretion regarding his personal life, keeping it largely private from the public eye. While Captain Ibrahim Traoré's professional endeavors and actions as a leader are well documented, there is currently no widely known or publicized information about his family or any romantic relationships. This low profile on personal matters has allowed him to concentrate on the task at hand and navigate the challenges of leadership with determination and focus. As the leader of Burkina Faso during this transitional phase, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's primary focus is likely on steering the country towards stability and progress and addressing the pressing issues faced by the nation. As of the current date, information regarding the net worth of Captain Ibrahim Traoré remains undisclosed. In light of his position as the transition president of Burkina Faso, specifics pertaining to his financial matters are maintained as private within the public domain. This has to be the most protected president in the world. Meet Ibrahim Traoré, the youngest leader on the planet. At just 34 years old, he became the president of Burkina Faso through a military coup nearly 2 years ago. But holding on to power hasn't been easy. Since taking office, he has survived over 20 coup attempts, making him one of the most targeted leaders in modern history. To ensure his survival, Traoré takes his security extremely seriously. He is always surrounded by a battalion of highly trained soldiers, including mercenaries from Russia's Wagner group. His movements are heavily guarded, and he never lets his guard down. Unlike other presidents, he doesn't rely solely on his security team. He carries his own pistol at all times, ready to react instantly to any threat. One of the most interesting things about Traoré is that he refuses to shake hands. Instead, he only gives fist bumps to minimize any risks. His leadership style and vision for Burkina Faso have drawn comparisons to Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary former president who was assassinated by his own allies.
That's why Lordson TV. Follow you, follow you. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment. Nafi, watch, share. Following Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And Sabaya and some pan in somewhere no Korebiseno. You're one the first person on Sabeka. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.